Alright, here's our first Edmodo lesson, and it's going to be on a topic that you've already seen in class. We've done some activities: range, median, mode, and mean. Now remember, with this video, if you daydream or have a mini vacation, remember you can rewind, you can fast forward, you could replay the whole thing, you can come back to it in the middle of your quiz, so don't forget to use that. Since you're at home and you're watching it, you're able to do that. So, we're going to start with range. You'll notice to the left of the screen that we have our group of numbers, and you could call that our data or data, our set. That's just the numbers we're going to be using to find these different items. So we'll start with range. To find range, you first need to find the smallest and largest numbers in the set. So if we look at our numbers that are over here, look carefully, it looks like 21 is our smallest and 43 is our largest. So in order to find the range, you have to find the difference of those two. So 43 is our largest. When you're subtracting, the larger number goes on top, and 21 is the smallest. So we'll subtract the smallest from the largest number. So 3 minus 1 is 2, and 4 minus 2 is 2, and there you go. We have found the range. Alright, now we're on to the median. So again, we're going to use the same set of numbers to your left. Now the median really means middle. So the first step to this is to make sure your numbers are in order. So you could have them in ascending or descending order, which means smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Alright, so the numbers have been changed. Now they're in order from smallest to largest. And so we're going to try and find the middle number. Well, first thing I'm going to do is count the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers, so that's an odd number, so we will have a middle number. So we'll check the outside. There's 1 row, 2 rows, and then you're left with one number in the middle there, which is 23. So in this case, 23 is going to be our median. Okay, here's one more example with median. In this case, they give 6 numbers instead of 5. So when finding the median with even numbers, you have to find the middle two numbers. Notice the numbers are still lined up from smallest to largest. So we need to find our middle two numbers, our pair, and we've got 23 and 25. And the way you would find the median when you have two numbers is to find the average. So we would add them. And then divide by the amount of numbers, which is 2. So 24 would be our median. Alright, next up is the mode. And the mode is how often a number shows up. So you want the most often, the most frequent number. So if you look at the numbers that we have here, it looks like they're all different except for the number 21. So that would automatically make 21 your mode because it shows up more than the other numbers. And finally, the mean. We're on our last topic. I know you're so sad. So to find the mean, there are basically 2 steps that you have to do. The first step is to add all the numbers. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, is add all the numbers. So I've added up the numbers, and when you add them all up you get a sum or a total of 140. So you're going to need to take that total of 140 and divide it by however many numbers you have in your set. So in our set we had 5 numbers. So I'm going to divide that 140 by 5. And this is where you can put into practice your old division skills that you learned last year. And here's a little memory tool, DMS-CB, in case you're not sure of the steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down. So we'll test them out. So we take our 5 that we have here, and we think to ourselves, does 5 go into the first number? Well, no, it's larger than 1. So we have to use the first 2 digits. So 5 into 14. How many 5s could you put in 14 without going over? Well, the answer to that would be 2. So I put my 2 above the 4 in 14. I've done dividing, and I move down to multiplying. 2 times 5 is 10, so I can put my 10 under the 14. And if I look on my steps, I'm going to subtract next. So I subtract 10 from 14, and I end up with 4. Now's the part which is entitled check. So you want to look at your 4 and see if that number you just got the difference is less than this number up here, which is called your divisor. So 4 is less than 5. That's good news. That means I'm on the right track and I can keep on going. The last step in the cycle is to bring it down. So I look up into my dividend here. I've used the 1, I've used the 4. I have this number left, which is a 0. So I'm going to bring that number down. I like to write an arrow so I don't forget what I've brought down. And I have a new number now. So I am really ignoring this information here now, and I have a brand new number down here in 40. So I have to ask myself, how many 5s go into 40? And if you're following the cycle, I really came back to the top of it and started over again. I'm dividing again. How many 5s are in 40? Well, you can use a simple math fact for that. 5 times 8 is 40, so that means there are 8 5s in 40. So I'll put my 8 in my answer. And I could finish it out by finishing the steps. Multiply 8 times 5 is 40, subtract, and I have nothing left, and there's nothing left to bring down. So the mean, or the average, so just finding the average, is 28 in this problem. So now that you've watched the lesson, make sure you click the button just above it to show that you watched it. I think it says turn in, and then there should also be a quiz to take. So take the quiz. Remember, it's not a grade. It's just a chance for you to try some of these problems out before we look at them in class. So good luck. Have fun.